All right. We start now explaining scene 4 of the play Proof. As you may know that in the previous scenes, Catherine started to trust Hall. She started also to develop feeling towards him as he tries to help her to get out of her depression. So in this scene, we are going to see how the events developed now after the funeral day. So we have scene 4. The next morning, Catherine alone on the porch in a robe. Hall enters, half dressed. He walks up behind her quietly. She hears him and turns. So here we have some kind of يعني, nice feeling exchange between the two. We come to know that Catherine now is different from the previous scenes. She is no more nervous and paranoid. She is more relaxed. She's more happy, let's say. She's more comfortable with herself. So that's the dialogue between Hall and Catherine. We're gonna skip it to see Claire, which is very important. Claire and Catherine. Now Claire says, "Please don't tell, please, Catherine. Are you all right?" Because Claire stays with the guests of the funeral, the professors, and they kept talking and drinking, and she has to stay with them because she's the host and drinking, and then she has headache and she feels tired, and she said, yeah, it was terrible. I am left alone with those people. Claire, no, those physicists. Catherine, what happened? Thanks a lot for leaving me alone with them. Where were your friends? My stupid friends left. It was only 11 o'clock. They all had to go home and pay their babysitters or bake bread or something. I'm left alone with those lunatics. Why did you drink so much? I thought I could keep up with them. I thought they would stop. They didn't. Oh God. Do you want some coffee? In a minute. That band, Catherine, yeah, they were terrible. They were okay. They had fun, I think. Well, as long as everybody had fun, your dress turned out all right. So you see that Catherine is wearing the dress Claire brought her, which means she likes now to take care of herself and to look pretty. So there is more like going back to normal life, but of course, a gradual, not sudden. But Catherine is going back to the normal life. I love it, Claire. Thanks. You are welcome. You are in a good mood. Should I not be? Are you kidding? No, I'm thrilled. I'm leaving in a few hours. I know. So Claire is traveling back to her house, to her job in New York, and she has to talk to Catherine that they are selling the house, and Catherine has to come with her to New York. But she doesn't know how to open this topic. Claire, the house is wrecked. Don't clean it up yourself. I will hire someone to come in. Thanks. You want your coffee? No, thanks. It is no trouble. Hold on a second, Katie. I'm leaving soon. So you can see in the clear speech these dots. I just dots. I'm leaving soon. I dash, which means she's hesitating to open the topic of selling the house. She doesn't know how to discuss this subject. You said I know. I'd like you to come to New York. Yes, January. I'd like you to move to New York. Move, which means move all herself and her place of living and everything change and come to New York. Move? Would you think about it for me? You could stay with me and Mitch at first. There's a plenty of room. Then you could get your own place. I've already scouted some apartments for you. Really cute place. What would I do in New York? What are you doing here? I live here. You could do whatever you want. You could work, you could go to school. School means college. I don't know, Claire. This is pretty major. I realize that. I know you mean well. I'm just not sure what I want to do. I mean, to be honest, you were right yesterday. I do feel a little confused. I'm tired. It's been a pretty weird couple of years. I think I'd like to take some time to figure. She needs some time. to think what she needs to do next. She should stay in Chicago, go to college, not. She has been through difficult. She said it has been a pretty weird couple of years. It was very difficult years she had with her father as he lost his mind and started behaving like a lunatic. So she needs some time to think in quiet. But here they don't have time because Claire already agreed on selling the house and they have to, leave the house. So Claire has to talk about that. Claire, you could do that in New York and I could do it here, but it would be much easier for me to get you set up in apartment in New York and dash, which means and we are selling the house, but she's hesitating. I don't need an apartment. I'll stay in the house. We are selling the house. Now she said it. What? We. I am selling it. When? I'm hoping to do the paperwork this week. I know it seems sudden and it's very quick. Okay. Catherine, no one was here looking at the place. Who are you selling to? The university. They wanted the block for years. Now, Catherine, I live here, which means it's all in capital letters. I brought you a question about that, which means she wants to emphasize that and she's shouting. She wants to emphasize, I live here. This is where I live. And Claire did not talk to Catherine about that. She just agreed without consulting Catherine's opinion about it. Honey, now that that's gone, it doesn't make sense. It is in bad shape. The house, I mean, it's in a bad shape. The house is, the heating system doesn't work and it's old and it's not taken care of. It costs a fortune to heat. It's time to let it go. It also, as some of you answered in the exam, that it has bad memories, full of sad memories, and it's true. And it's good for Catherine to move away from that atmosphere, which agrees is a very smart move. We are lucky. We have a great office, which means the university is offering very good money for that. Where am I supposed to live? So she says, where am I gonna live? Come to New York. I can't believe this. She said, I can't believe that Claire decide where Catherine should go or not go. She is treating her like a small child. She's not asking her opinion. She just plans things instead of asking Catherine what does she want. And that's what Catherine rejects. And this is why there's no, friendship between the two because Claire always thinks that she knows best, and Catherine has to do what Claire wants her to do. It'll be so good. You deserve a change. This would be a whole new adventure for you. Why are you doing this? I want to help by kicking me out of my house. It was my house too. You haven't lived here for years. I know that you were on your own. I really regret that, Katie. Don't. I know I'll let you down. I feel awful about it. Now I am trying to help. You want to help now? Yes. Dad is dead. I know. He's dead. Now that he is dead, you fly in for a weekend and decide you want to help. You are late. Where have you been? Now here is a very confrontation, clash between the two sisters because Catherine blames Claire that she was not really helping when their father was insane and sick. She didn't come to the house, she couldn't help, she couldn't, ease things. She was just away and she just called Catherine says, just put father in a mental hospital. So she was not really helping. She left Catherine alone with dad to face the difficulties of that conditions. Now, Catherine is bringing this out, is telling the truth, is telling what she feels about Claire, that Claire has been selfish all these years. And Claire doesn't know how to answer. I know that she knows she has done something wrong by not really being the oldest sister and coming to the house and trying to help. Where were you 5 years ago? You weren't helping then. I was working, Catherine. I was here. I lived with him alone. So she was alone. She really wanted a sister to help her and ease things from her, but Claire did not come. Of course, here we can say that Claire has made a mistake by letting Catherine lives alone with her father and not helping them and not being there and not being like that, like instead of the mother trying to help things up. I was working 14 hours a day. I paid every bill here. So she was paying for the house, she was paying for electricity, she was paying for the food, because Catherine doesn't have a job, and the father also is not having any job. I paid off the mortgage, which is the money you take to buy a house. Then you pay each month a small part. So she paid it. Claire paid that money on this house, on this three-bedroom house, while I was living in a studio in Brooklyn. You had your life, you got to finish school, you could have stayed in school. She's asking, why didn't you stay in college? How? I would have done anything. I told you that. I told you a million times to do anything you wanted. What about that? She said that was the problem between the two sisters when their father was alive. That Claire says to Catherine, go back to college and we put father in a hospital and that's it. And that's why Catherine refuses this because she loves her father and she knows he is going to be miserable in the mental hospital. So she dropped college and she stayed at home, took care of the father. What about dad? Someone had to take care of him. He was ill. He should have been in a full-time professional care situation, which means a hospital. He didn't belong to the nut house, nut house, which means a name for a hospital, a mental hospital. He might have been better off. How can you say that? This is where I mean to feel guilty, right? Sure, go for it. I am heartless, my own father. So Claire says, okay, you want me to feel bad because, sorry, I want to put my father in a mental hospital? Okay, I'm feeling bad. He needed to be here in his own house, near the university, near his students, near everything that made him happy. So you see, Catherine understand the feeling of the father, that he would feel better if he sees his student, if he sees his university, if he sees his house. He will feel better than if he is left alone in a mental hospital. Maybe, or maybe some real professional care would have done him more good than rattling around in a filthy house with you looking after him. I'm sorry, Catherine, it's not your fault. It's my fault for letting you do it. I was right to keep him here. No. What about his remission? 4 years ago, he was healthy for almost a year. So there was a 1 year in this 5 years where he went really insane. Sorry, there was 1 year in these 5 years where Robert was really insane. 1 year where he was really normal. Was normal. He ate good. He took showers. He went in the buses. He talked to students. 1 year where he recovered. And then he cleared it, and then he went tried, but it's just 1 year, and then 9 months actually, and then there was a relapse. He returned to his terrible mental state. He might have been worse in a hospital, and he might have been better. Did he ever do any work again? No. So this is an understanding. Claire says maybe he could recover in a mental hospital. They give him medicine, take care of him. Maybe he will be better. But Catherine has a different understanding. She says, no, he needs emotional support, not medical. He needs to stay in the house with someone to take care of him. Then Claire says, did he ever write anything, any theory, anything? And says, no. Claire, no. And then you might have been better. So that shows that he is not getting better. Catherine, better than what? Living here with him, did him any good? You said that yourself. You had so much talent. You think I'm like that? So here, Catherine is very sensitive. She thinks Claire is accusing her that she's also mentally unstable. That's why you think I am like Dad. I think you have some of his talent, which means his genius, and some of his tendency towards Dot's instability, which means she is saying that you have inherited from father his genius in math and things, and but also his instability, mental instability. Of course, there is Dot's, which means Claire is hesitant to say you might be like the father and a little bit lunatic. She chooses the word instability. Catherine, of course, Catherine is super smart. She understands what Claire is after. Claire, in addition to the cute apartment that you scouted for me in New York, would you also by any chance have devoted some of your considerable energies towards scouting out another type of, which now here Catherine is bursting up. She cannot anymore, bear this treatment from Claire. Now there's a clear accusation. Claire says maybe Catherine is also insane. So she's asking her sister Claire, okay, you've been searching for an apartment for me in New York. Why didn't you search for a psychiatric for me? Because I'm obviously crazy. So I need a doctor, a psychiatric. This is why before she completes, Claire understands, says, no, Catherine, living facility for your bug house little sister, which means a mental hospital for me. No, absolutely not. That's not what it's about. So she wants to clarify, Claire, that she does not want Catherine to come to New York because she thinks Catherine is sick mentally. She just wants her to move because they are selling the house. And she thinks if she moves to New York, she will be better. New York is a very, vital city. There are lots of options and colleges and things life, and that will help Catherine. But Catherine is still troubled psychologically, and she starts attacking Claire. Don't lie to me, Claire. I am smarter than you. That your resources I have investigated. Oh my God, if you wanted to. And all I'm saying is at doctors in New York. So she is planning to make her meet a doctor. Claire is thinking really of taking Catherine to a doctor, and people are the best, and she wanted to complete. Then of course Catherine is now shouting and using insulting words because now she is certain that she thinks her sister Claire thinks Catherine is really insane. It would be entirely up to you. You wouldn't live anywhere you can. I hate you. Now this is a very, it's a strong expression from Catherine, where she cannot, of course, she's already in a difficult conditions because she has been with her father and she's worried she might be like her father. And now her sister is thinking of taking her to another place and maybe she can meet a psychiatric. It's too much for her. So she says, I hate you. Don't yell, please, calm down. Now, I hate you when capital letters, she's shouting, she's emphasizing I. And here, Hall comes in. Of course, in the scene before, Catherine gives Hall a key to a drawer in her father's office. And Hall does not know what's this about, but he would go there and he would open the drawer, find a notebook, and he would read it. And there is something very amazing there. But he thinks this is what Robert has written. He doesn't think this is what Catherine has written. So he's coming very excited and he wants to tell Catherine that he has read in this notebook something very exciting about. Claire, what are you doing? How long have you known about this? So he's pointing to the notebook. He says, well, Catherine, do you know about this notebook? Catherine says, a while. Why didn't you tell me about it? I wasn't sure. I wanted to thank you. You are welcome. Here, Hall thinks this notebook is written by the father. And Catherine does not know that Hall is thinking like that. She thinks that Hall believes this is what she has written. But later on, she will explain to him. Catherine, thank you. I thought you'd like to see it. What is it? Now, Claire doesn't know. Hal says, it's incredible. What is it? Oh, it's a result, a proof. I mean, it looks like one. I mean, it's one, a very long one. I haven't read all of course. Of course, this is what is written in the notebook. It's a theory, a new theory, a proof of something very, يعني strange and difficult. Scientists wants to prove it, they couldn't. So here there is a proof, there is a solution, a result, something mathematical or something scientific. But Hal, of course, needs to read it in quiet and with some specialists to understand what is it is difficult writing. I could check it, but it is what I think it's a proof. It's a very important proof. There, what does it prove? It looks like prove a theorem, so a theory, a mathematical theory about prime numbers, something mathematicians have been trying to prove since they were mathematicians. Basically, most people thought it could be done. So it's a new theory about mathematics, the prime number we talked about, and it's a very important one, but of course it's a difficult, he cannot understand it, he has to sit with specialists and discuss this. Claire, where did you find it? In your father's desk. Kathy told me about it. You know what is it? Kathy, sure. Is it good? Yes. It's historic. If it check out. What does it say? I don't know yet. I just read the first few pages. But what does it mean? It means that during a time when everybody thought your dad was crazy or barely functioning, he was doing some of the most important mathematics in the world. This is what Hall believes. He believes that when people think Robert is crazy, he was actually writing this important theory. But it is not Robert, it's Catherine. So that's what Hall misunderstands. Now, why Catherine did not tell him when she gives him the key that there is a book I have written. She just gave him the key. She said, go and check. Why until now she didn't tell, wait, I am the one who wrote this theory. She's still quiet while Hall thinks it's Robert's theory. Um, so this is a question you can think about it. Okay, if it's check out, it means you publish instantly. It means the newspapers all over the world are going to want to talk to the person who found this notebook. So he's thinking about himself that I will be famous. Everybody's gonna meet me and tell me you found this notebook. Claire, Kathy, Kathy, Catherine, I didn't find it. Yes, you did. No. Well, did you find it or did Hal find it? I didn't find it. I didn't find it. I wrote it. So she's telling them, this is mine. It's not my father. I wrote this new theory. Here is the point where Catherine has to prove that she is the one who has written this new theory about prime number, and she is having clear mind. She's not, lunatic, and she can function very well. So that's a challenge. Okay, I'm gonna let scene Act 2 to the next video.